students, parents, and members of the St. Ignatius community are coming together to pray for those impacted in Saturday night's crash. 16 students from the junior varsity hockey team were injured when a semi-truck slammed into their school bus. Liz, we are just now learning the identity of that woman killed in a boating accident early this morning here in the playpen. 20-year-old Brianna Burden from Chicago. She was with 6 others on the boat who were all rescued by authorities. One woman remains in critical condition here tonight at Illinois Masonic Medical Center. I've been speaking with 26-year-old Mariah Vera's family. They tell me she's a fighter, now spending her 26th birthday inside the hospital here. The White House says President Biden has been tracking this shooting, which investigators describe as a peaceful Juneteenth gathering turned violent. Police say the 11-year-old girl was just walking home from school yesterday afternoon around 3:30 when she was grabbed and then assaulted. Very tense moments for those who work in the Loop this afternoon. The Chicago Fire Department says shots were fired during a bank robbery here at the Fifth Third Bank, injuring a security guard. The FBI just now releasing this surveillance photo moments ago of the suspect. This is truly incredible video. What you're about to see, a suspected car theft crew at work. At one point, a suspect hops onto the hood of a moving car trying to run from police. We were in Naperville earlier where the storm seemed to be breaking apart and dissipating, so we just drove a little further west toward Aurora where the storms look to be moving. It is raining heavier here. There's some dark skies, as you can see behind me. The shocking update this morning, police are now investigating this as a quadruple murder. They are searching for a shooter after a man, a woman, and their 2 children were found dead inside their home. This is a very emotional day, as you can imagine, for the people of Waukesha. I actually just spoke with a brave young girl who was there that day. She was walking in the parade with her dance group when now convicted Darrell Brooks drove his car through the town's annual Christmas parade. Well, this congressional race has really tightened in recent weeks, even garnering some national attention. And that's something the Republican candidate Keith Peacock tells me he's excited about. House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy even paying him a visit over the weekend. They have Rob and Karen. Football Sundays are finally back. I got my Bears sweater on. The weather is just perfect and spirits are high for a W today. Although the Packers are up right now at halftime, Bears fans packed in here to Soldier Field to take on their long-standing rival. Rob and Judy, while the Israel-Hamas war rages on, tensions surging across college campuses, including right here at the University of Chicago. Dueling student-led protests for both Palestine and Israel have been playing out here on campus all week.
Free, free Palestine!
Hundreds of students for justice in Palestine demanding the violence in Gaza to stop. Taking their movement to campus streets.
We have a multi-ethnic, multi-background participant and organization here, and our goal mainly has been to take up space.
Let them live, let Gaza live.
Student-led rallies erupting across the country amid the conflict. Collegiate unrest at Harvard University.
Students on these campuses are taking up what governments and people in positions of authority are not doing themselves.
We see a rise in Islamophobic and anti-Semitic attacks across the United States, which makes it so that people are personally affected and they can no longer ignore this as some kind of faraway issue. So that's why I think we see a greater mobilization.
The division on full display here in the University of Chicago's Quad. One side marked by the Palestinian flag, the other Israeli.
As a pro-Israel student on campus, it's really easy to feel alone with this going on.
Enough to make anyone uncomfortable at the least and feeling really on edge and unsafe.
As tensions grow, both sides mobilizing their movement side by side, some raising concerns over student safety.
This whole week, I did not like walking through the Quad alone. I would take the back way to my classes, and I should not feel like that as a Jewish student. And for just wanting to stand with my brothers and sisters in Israel and for wanting to condemn terrorism, there should not be that much backlash and hate and isolation.
Now, the university says they are committed to free speech and the rights of protesters to express a wide range of views. In a statement, they say in part, quote, the university has developed a consensus against taking social or political stances on issues outside its core mission, including calls for divestment. In Hyde Park, Stephanie Wade, ABC 7 Eyewitness News, back to you.
Stephanie, thank you.
Yeah, about 75 migrants are being housed here at this makeshift emergency shelter in Pilsen that they just opened Tuesday night. A drop in the bucket, really, for the estimated thousands of migrants who have arrived here in Chicago over the past year. Behind me, you can see they are sitting on the floor of this warehouse. We've been speaking with the migrants in Spanish. One man who came here from Venezuela with his wife and 2 children describes to me just how difficult the decision was to come here and how grateful they now are to be in Chicago.
Muy difícil.
Jesus Alvarez says it was very difficult traveling here from Venezuela. You suffer a lot.
Tengo 5 carreras.
He has 5 degrees and 16 years experience as a police officer, he says, but wasn't making enough money in his home country to provide for his family, thus making the difficult decision to journey here.
I just saw my mother in these people. My mom came from Guatemala, escaping political violence.
Juan Aguirre is using this warehouse as a temporary migrant shelter, feeding and clothing dozens of families.
Just seeing the amount of trauma that these people have experienced is overwhelming for me, but knowing that we're giving them a sense of hope and love.
The city has declared a state of emergency over the crisis. Police stations are overrun with asylum seekers, spending their days on cold lobby floors. Just last night, 70 more migrants were dropped off at the 2nd Police District in Bronzeville without warning.
I estimate there's over 9,000 asylum seekers who've come to our great city. Currently, we have about 2,900 beds, shelter beds, and demand well over that. In police stations, we have over 500 individuals as we stand now. Starting tomorrow, Alderman Michael Rodriguez says Petrowski Park in Little Village will now serve as a temporary respite center. A place that's a bit more humane for those coming to this country than a police station.
¿Qué quieres decir a gente de Chicago? I asked Jesus what he'd like to say to Chicagoans. He got emotional, saying he wants to contribute to society and achieve his goals and dreams like any other human being. Now, they can house up to 300 people here, but say they really need more help from the city. Alderman Rodriguez agrees more funding is needed, especially as we're expecting more migrants to arrive here in Chicago as the days go on. We're live in Pilsen. Stephanie Wade, ABC 7 Eyewitness News. Back to you. Karen, neighbors I spoke with are hoping a new city ordinance will begin to deter people from doing what they did here last night. You can still see the fresh tire marks on the street here behind me. And unfortunately, neighbors say this is not the first time it's happened here. Sounds of tires screeching is what those who live near 25th and King Drive have been waking up to for several weekends now.
Making a lot of noise, doing donuts, and just can't sleep because it's so loud.
It's absolutely unbelievable. I can't even put it into words. 300-400 young people they converge on the community.
Video from overnight shows massive crowds clogging the streets as they watch drivers spinning donuts around this roundabout.
The speed that they are racing around the statue here and that they're hanging out of cars. And for me, what wakes me up, it's not the noise, it's the smell of the rubber burning.
Unfortunately, this isn't the first time people have descended upon this near South Side community. Neighbors shared this video from last year of people setting a ring of fire around the same roundabout.
They must be organizing on social media because they seem to know exactly where to come, when to come, and they also know when to leave.
Chicago police arrested 2 men in last night's incident and 1 car was impounded. 18-year-old Jose Castillo is charged with misdemeanor reckless conduct, and 18-year-old Juan Venegas was cited for possessing a pellet gun, disorderly conduct, and multiple traffic violations.
Hopefully it, stops these hooligans from causing trouble, because it's just, we just want to sleep in peace.
Now, neighbors also suggest police add extra patrols here in this area over the weekend, knowing how frequently it happens here. We're live in the city's near South Side. Stephanie Wade, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Here we go.
You ready to do this?
Yes, I'm ready. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
You've done this before, right?
The U.S. Army parachute team Golden Knights inviting me along for the unique opportunity.
Hello.
How you guys doing?
Jump tandem with the team in Sunday's Chicago Air and Water Show.
Are you excited?
I'm so excited. I did not sleep last night. Not very much. No. The adrenaline was pumping.
After undergoing some important safety training,
I feel the safest I could be jumping with you guys.
we huddled around the plane as a team.
Woo! The Golden Knights!
And in we went.
Here we go.
Our skydiving gear on, zipped up and strapped in.
You're gonna reach down, pull those up over your knees onto your thighs.
And it's time to fly.
How did you get into this?
Sort of just fell into it,
A couple laughs to ease the nerves as we climbed to 12,000 feet.
You said this is your first skydive, right?
Yeah.
I really think you're gonna be blown away.
My heart pounding in anticipation at this point. I knew it was time. Stomach in knots, we made our way next to the open door. A couple thumbs up, and on the count of 3, we thrust out of the plane. Truly no words as we free fall for 60 seconds at speeds of 120 miles per hour. It was exhilarating.
Our specially selected passenger for the day is Stephanie Wade.
At 5,000 feet, my tandem partner Ryan Reese opened our parachute. Then all was still, indescribably peaceful, floating above the clouds.
Make some noise as they bring it into the target area.
Immense gratitude as we land on North Avenue Beach.
Woo.
Tell me how you feel back on the ground.
Dizzy, but that was amazing. I mean, that free fall, there's nothing like it.
A once-in-a-lifetime experience.
You were
did
great.
awesome. That was great.
Stephanie Wade, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Bravo, well done. Beautiful landing there. She said the adrenaline was so powerful.